Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. We're running a little late this afternoon because we were at a press conference where the county executive signed the important legislation for racial equity and social justice. Yes, you know what, that does deserve a round of applause. It's rare we get a round of applause before a public hearing. I think that should be noted. Today we only have two public hearings, and the first item, if you've not done so already, please hand in your testimony to the clerk that's seated at the podium on your right and my left. And please, when I call the group of speakers, please come up together. There's only two at each one. Please note that the public hearings are the county council's time to hear from the public, and we do not necessarily ask questions during this process. Before beginning your presentation, please touch the red button at the base of the microphone, and when you finish speaking, please cut your microphone off. When you begin your presentation, please state your name clearly for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. A yellow light in front of you will come on when you have 30 seconds left, in which you should begin to finish your presentation. Please end your statement when the red light comes on. And if you have not finished your statement, the council will read your submitted written testimony and will consider it just as your oral testimony. The first item is Zoning Text Amendment 19-08. It's for bicycle parking requirements and design standards. And the first two people in the panel, are Casey Anderson and Rodney Aker. And there's a Fed committee work session tentatively scheduled for 1/16/20.
Obviously, I'm not Casey Anderson.
Well, that's not obvious to me. I don't know.
And Greg and other witnesses, let me just apologize in advance. I have to run to the first meeting of the statewide vaping task force I agreed to be on. But thank you, and I'll watch the testimony.
Please.
For the record, Greg Russ from Montgomery County Planning Board. The Planning Board did hear ZTA 19-08 at its regular meeting on November 7th and voted unanimously to recommend approval with just a slight minor modifications to amend the bicycle parking requirements, amend the bicycle parking design standards, and generally amend the provisions concerning bicycle parking and parking design. The one change to the ZTA as introduced modifies the text that requires bicycle repair stations for all commercial buildings. The modified language, the intent of our modified language was to instead require repair stations for a building with more than 50,000 square feet of non-residential gross floor area. And although the language that we actually provided to you guys is slightly inaccurate, we are working with Jeff to clarify that language. But the board also recommended that our planning staff coordinate with the county and other public entities in educating the public and private industries in the requirements for bicycle parking and the advantages to implementing the associated design standards. Also recommended that efforts be made to encourage owners of existing buildings to implement bicycle parking facilities, and that racks be integrated into the design of all bus rapid transit stations in the county. I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions for me, I'm Greg Russ again, and also I have with me one of the persons who worked closely with me on this, and that's Lauren Pepe from our office as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes this public hearing. The next public hearing is Bill 3519, Personnel, Collective Bargaining, Certified Representative, Duty of Fair Representation. The GO Committee is tentatively scheduled to take this up on 1/16/20, and I'd like to invite Amy Myler and Jeffrey Buttle to please come forward. And Amy, I apologize for not pronouncing your name correctly, but I have a feeling you will. So.
Not a problem. It's Amy Millar with USCW Local 1994 GEO. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak this afternoon. I won't read the testimony that I believe you have in front of you, but just a few points. The recent Janus Supreme Court decision was really the result of multi-year long strategy and attack by right-wing forces on unions meant to deprive labor organizations of resources to fight for their members. I can say that since that decision, we've been very proud that the vast majority, overwhelming majority, of the folks that we represent have made the decision to remain dues-paying union members. Unfortunately, there's always a few that see an opportunity to reap the benefits of union representation without any of the responsibilities or contributions. And that is not fair to the overwhelming majority of the folks who are paying dues. Folks now who've opted out of the union already receive the benefits of union representation, collective bargaining, informal representation that union performs. What we're asking is that our union members not be forced to subsidize the cost of union representation in grievance matters as well. One case could cost really up to tens of thousands of dollars. So the bill that you have in front of us, it's modeled after other legislation that was passed in Maryland and most recent in other states as well, most recently in Massachusetts. I did want to address maybe a couple of the points that were brought up by Mr. Drummond in terms of this being an issue appropriate for collective bargaining. We don't disagree, but we also can see that the code needs to be changed as well. That's it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Buttle, please.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm here, Jeffrey Buttle, President of the Montgomery County Career Firefighters Association. We represent the active and retired firefighters and career firefighters and paramedics here in Montgomery County. Here to testify in support of the legislation. I'm not going to get into the logic of the United States Supreme Court overturning 41 years of precedent, but what I did want to address just very briefly, because I think that Amy hit most of the points that I was going to say anyway, so rather than being repetitive, Mr. Drummer did note in the packet that this does require a bargaining aspect to it, and I think just to make it clear, a change like this requires both. So there are some changes that we need to make to our collective bargaining agreement, which are done with the executive, and all of the bargaining units are currently in negotiations right now. I won't get into any details about our discussions, but we are having discussions and we'll have discussions. So that's the collective bargaining agreement side, and of course the county code side can only be changed by action of the council. So in order to make these changes, we have to do both. We have to have the legislative change that is done by the county council, and we have to have the amendments to the collective bargaining agreement that's done with the executive. I know, Mr. President, you mentioned that there's tentatively a council work session scheduled for January the 16th, and I do think at that council, or the committee work session rather, that we'll be able to provide maybe a little bit further update from both us and the executive branch on how the collective bargaining changes are going. So I just wanted to note that and acknowledge that for the council. But we do support the legislation, and we appreciate the time.
Thank you very much. There's no lights on, so we thank you. That's going to close this public hearing. And we're going to have some interviews on the Merit System Protection Board. And do we have a list of names who are coming forward for that?
In the packet here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I should have opened that up. We are all three are here, so they can certainly introduce themselves. If you could please introduce yourselves, and we have a series of questions that are pre-written for us, and then my colleagues, if they have any further questions, they will do that as well. But if we could start with you, please. You need to touch the microphone. There you go.
Good
afternoon. I'm Sonia Childs, a resident of Montgomery County for 44 years.
Very good.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Karen Hines, and I'm also a member of Montgomery County and have been for over almost 30 years.
Good afternoon, I'm Mike Cater, and I don't want to say how long I've lived here. I don't want to reveal my age.
I understand how that works. What we're going to do is we're going to start, please, with you, and then we'll switch. The second person will be first, and et cetera. Everyone's going to obviously be asked the same questions. The first question is, please explain your understanding of the purpose of the Merit System Protection Board and the role of a board member. Please.
Yes. As I understand it, the purpose of the Merit System Protection Board is to protect the system and to protect employees and applicants who would be covered by the system. Further, to hold hearings which may be disciplinary, result from disciplinary actions taken to remove, demote, or suspend an employee, to work with the chief administrative officer in terms of drafting of legislation, projected legislation, and to work with that officer to review the classification system if there are any changes that would be made, to conduct periodic reviews of the system, and to make changes, recommended changes if one sees fit. To work with the fire and rescue units to make sure that they are in compliance with the regulations, and to publish annually abstracts of findings and to keep public records, if you will, of decisions made by the board. If requested by the county council to conduct special studies that may be needed or requested. So that is the role of the member, 3 members, in this deliberation process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
The role of the Merit System Protection Board is to hold and conduct hearings related to issues on disciplinary actions, grievances, and also retirement benefits. The board also reviews classification of positions and also works closely with the executive director in reviewing decisions that have been drafted by the executive director. Board members also can write decisions related to the matters that come before it. Further, if board members do review hearings and find that there is evidence that needs to be further gathered, they can send back to the hearing officer to conduct further fact findings so that they can make well-reasoned decisions about the particular matters that are coming before them. And those are some of the things. And board members can also write decisions as well.
Thank you. Mr. Cater, please.
Thank you. The purpose of the Merit System Protection Board is, as was said, to protect the merit system. And that's, overlooked sometimes how important that is. I think we've had a recent reminder of the value of career service in the federal context. It's important here. The board performs its function by holding hearings, by reviewing regulations of the county executives, various departments, classification reviews, all of the things that have been mentioned. But I do think and pardon me for getting my soapbox, and it is critical that the merit system is not just, some passing fancy. It is really the backbone of operational government, and I think that gets overlooked, not here, but maybe a few miles to the south. So that is my view of what the purpose and role of the board members are.
Thank you very much. We're going to start the next question with Ms. Hines. What is your experience in the field of personnel management, including experience with merit systems, collective bargaining systems, or other types of government-regulated personnel systems? Please indicate any other experience you may have relating to the duties and responsibilities of the Merit System Protection Board.
My experience includes being an administrative law judge for the D.C. Office of Administrative Hearings, where I heard a number of different kinds of matters that also included employment matters and employment as it relates to unemployment compensation, poor performance, eligibility, as well as overpayment of benefits. And for as it relates to those kinds of matters, I heard and decided many kinds of employment matters and wrote decisions as it related to that and conducted hearings. Other experience that I have includes providing consulting services, providing administrative inquiries and fact-finding as it relates to employment and workplace disputes, and providing recommendations on workplace and how to resolve those workplace disputes. I also am a hearing officer for DC courts, where I hear termination matters. I'm part of a pool of hearing officers, and I hear termination matters. In addition to that, one thing I'd like to bring to the attention of the council, I have taken numerous classes at the National Judicial College, where I've been taking classes on administrative law and how to conduct hearings, how to write well-reasoned decisions, and how to be an impartial adjudicator. In addition to that, I've also taught at the National Judicial College and provided webcasts on how to handle pro se litigants who come before the administrative tribunal without legal representation.
Thank you. Mr. Cater.
Well, thank you. My most direct experience, obviously, is having served for the last 6 years as a board member of the Merit System Protection Board. Currently, I'm in my second term as chairman. Prior to that, and continuing to, actually, currently, I represent employees and federal agencies in merit system, federal merit system issues. So I've been doing that since 1981. I think that I've never represented anybody in the Montgomery County Merit System Protection Board matter, so all of my direct experience has been in the federal system, but it's analogous. And as I said, for the past 6 years, I've been on the board, and I'm very grateful for having had the opportunity to do that.
Thank you. Is it Giles? How do you pronounce your last? Giles. Ms. Giles, please.
I'm a trained and certified mediator in Montgomery County. I retired after many years, numerous years, as a professor emeritus from Montgomery College, and I retired in the capacity of chief of staff. In that capacity, we heard many, many issues in terms of merit and seniority and salary and status, etc. And formerly, I was the chair of the Department of Criminal Justice, had to do evaluations, write evaluations for colleagues, employees of the institution who taught in the department, full as well as part-timers, so conducting evaluations.
Thank you. Mr. Cater, this is a fairly fast answer on this one, but will you be able to make the time commitment that the board requires?
Yes, I've been able to do that, and I will say that we're fortunate in this day that so much of what we do it can be done remotely. We're able to, with emails. And so the burden is not as terrible as it once was. We have hearings however many times there are a month. I think we have maybe 2 or 3 this month, but and work sessions maybe once a month. But we can get a lot done, so it's not as bad as it once was. But yes, obviously I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Childs.
Very much available, and I'm committed to the task.
Thank you. Ms. Hines.
Yes, I would be able to provide the time, whatever is necessary in order to meet the responsibilities of the obligation. Recognize that the board members may meet either once a month, and oftentimes they may meet more than once a month, depending on the issues that are presented and how many cases are being presented. But I would be able to provide the necessary time commitment.
The next question is for Ms. Childs would be first. Is there any actual or potential conflict of interest or anything else in your background of which the council should be aware? If you are in a profession that serves clients, what type of clients do you serve?
I am currently retired, and I see no conflicts on my part.
Very good. Ms. Hines. It's on. It's on.
Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Is there any actual or potential conflict of interest or anything else in your background of which the council should be aware? If you were in a profession that serves clients, what type of clients do you serve?
Right. There are no potential or actual conflicts that I am aware of that would prevent me from being a successful board member. I would like to make the council aware of a matter that I do have pending before the D.C. Office of Administrative Hearings. I was not reappointed after 8 years of serving as a successful administrative law judge. What happened was a new management came in and they made changes, reorganized the office and made changes to the staff wholesale, including multiple staff changes across the board. And I just wanted the council to be aware of that. I am an attorney, and I do also, I'm a professor at Montgomery College, where I teach alternative dispute resolution, and I also teach international business law at University of Maryland Global Campus. And I also have mentioned before that I'm a hearing officer at DC Courts, and I also provide consulting services in the area of administrative inquiries for federal clients on workplace disputes. But I don't foresee any of those responsibilities having to prevent me from doing a very good job as a Merit System Protection Board, and I don't see any conflict of interest as it relates to those responsibilities.
Thank you. Mr. Cater.
Thank you. No, I have no actual or potential conflicts, though my firm does represent federal employees and private sector employees as well. We do not represent Montgomery County employees, so neither I nor anyone in my firm would do that, so we have no conflicts.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Hines, the county charter states no member of the board shall hold political office or participate in any campaign for any political or public office during the member's term of office. Is this a problem for you?
It is not a problem for me. I have held positions before where I was a judicial officer, and I had those same kinds of restrictions, and so it's not a problem for me. And I am familiar with those kinds of requirements.
Very good. Mr. Cater.
No.
Thank you. Ms. Childs. And then the final question that is the pre-questions. Are you, and this is Mr. Cater first, are you aware that members of the Merit System Protection Board must submit annual public financial disclosure statements?
Yes, I've been reminded of that just this year.
Very good. Ms. Childs.
Yes, I'm aware of that, and I did submit the requisite financial statements when I submitted the documents.
Ms. Hines?
Yes, I am aware of that. I also submitted my financial disclosure form, and I've held positions before where I had to file annual public financial disclosure forms, and so I'm very familiar with that kind of requirement.
Very good. Well, at this point, I don't see any lights on, so we are tentatively scheduled for action on December 10th, so you'll be hearing from us fairly quickly. That's next week. So we will be getting back in touch with you. But thank you all very, very much for being here and for applying and for participating. And thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to adjourn until this evening at 7:30, where we're going to take up Bill 3419, the public hearing for Bill 3419, Taxation, Development Impact Taxes, Affordable Housing Impact Fairness Act. And that will be this evening at 7:30. Thank you for being with us. We are adjourned.
Thank you.